Okay, so we're gonna go through this total body circuit 4 times through. If you don't have time to go through it 4 times today, then you can try for 2. Maybe that's where you wanna start, and then maybe you shoot for 3 the following week, and then maybe you work up to 4 by the end of the month. So we're gonna start with a single leg hip thrust. So you're gonna get a resistance band. It can be one of these latex ones, or if you have the fabric ones, they work just as well. I don't use a super heavy one on this one because it's hard enough with a light to medium band, but you're gonna place that right above your knees. I'm then gonna come down onto my shoulder blades on the bench. If you don't have a bench, you could use a chair or a couch ottoman or anything that's stable that's not gonna slide out from under you. So once I'm here, I'm gonna tuck my chin, I'm gonna lift one leg. We're gonna do 12 reps on each leg. So I'm gonna drop my booty down and squeeze it back up. So we're gonna do 12 of these. This up leg is not doing anything. It's just hanging out, not doing any swinging. 8. And 12. And then I'm going to switch feet, just bringing the other leg up. Again, drop the booty down, squeeze it up. So I'm focusing on squeezing right here through the glutes and the hamstrings. 6. 12. And then we'll just come on back up, slide that band off. The next exercise we have is a pause push-up. So if you're not able to do push-ups fully on your toes, you can elevate your hands on a bench. The higher the elevation, the easier it's gonna be. So one of your things you could do is you could start with something a little higher, and your goal being to work down to something lower, eventually maybe bringing hands to the floor. The other thing you can do is I'll have people sometimes push up on their knees, but then come down on their toes. So they'll go down on the toes, they got their 3-second hold, drop their knees down, and then push back up, and then come back up on the toes. So that's another way to build yourself up from doing it on your knees to up on your toes. So we're doing 8 to 10 reps of a 3-second hold at the bottom. That doesn't mean we're resting at the bottom. That means we're stopping before we touch the bench or the floor. I'm gonna do them elevated just because it's probably easier for you to see. And again, 8 to 10 reps, 3-second pause, making sure your elbows aren't flaring out here. So they're pulled in a little bit, not in tight, because that's gonna be really hard, but about maybe 45 degrees or so. So everything nice and tight, no booties dropping or up in the air, pull it in. You're gonna come down, hold 3, 2, 1, press up. 3, 2, 1, press up. 3, 2, 1. Breathe in, breathe out at the top. I think that's 9 and 10. This next one is a band face pull. So this is working the upper part of the back and the rear part of the shoulders. The front of the shoulders get worked a whole lot, and we don't tend to hit the back of them as much, which causes a lot of imbalances, and it can also cause you to have kind of that forward posture. We want you to be opened up, which is really gonna help you with your running. As you start to fatigue, people tend to start to slump. If we can strengthen all these muscles back here, it's gonna help you stay more upright in your run. So you're just gonna take a light band, I would not go super heavy, and you can loop it around anything you have. I'm using the squat rack, but you can put it, if you have a band set, a lot of times they'll come with a door anchor, so you can anchor it in a door or around a piece of furniture. Just make sure it's something that's not going to come loose when you anchor it, because you don't want this band to pop you in the face. So we're gonna face the anchor, we're gonna pull back, and as we pull back, we're gonna rotate our hands back and then release it. Bring it back, rotate, here. And this one we're gonna go for about 12 reps. Making sure you're not shrugging your shoulders up into your ears. got 2 more. So now we have the banded goblet march. So you can use that same band that you used for your hip thrust. You want to make sure it's light. If it's a really heavy band, it's going to be really hard for you to do this well. So if you have some options of a light, medium, heavy band, I would opt for the lighter band. And if it's too easy, you can always go up to a medium or a heavier band on your subsequent sets. You're going to use either a kettlebell or a dumbbell, whatever you have nearby that's weighted, and you're going to be holding it goblet style. All that means is that you're holding it here in front of your body. You're not holding it against you, but you're not holding it way out here. So you're going to pull it in so that you have to really engage your core. And this is a core exercise, but it also hits hip flexors as well. So the band is going to go across the feet. So I'm going to step on it, put both feet in there, but you see that it's across my shoelaces. I'm going to bring that weight in front of me, goblet style, and I'm going to make sure I don't run into anything. And we're doing 20 reps, so that's 10 per leg. So stand up nice and tall. You're going to pull, flex the foot, pull the knee up towards your chest. Got to concentrate on this one. So I'm trying not to rock around a whole lot. 8. Not letting the band snap me back down. There's 10, so that's half of them. 13. Don't get in a rush. 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Next up, we have a crossover step up. So you can use a dumbbell, a kettlebell, again, whatever weight you have, you are holding it goblet style again. So as you know, that's in front of the body. As far as the height of your step, that is totally up to you and how your knees are, how balanced you feel. We have boxes that vary heights depending on how we flip them. So I don't have it on the highest, but I have it on like a medium. I could go lower if I wanted to, or I could even go to a weight bench if I wanted something high and really challenging. But it's up to you on how hard you make this. Again, that could be something you work up to as the month progresses. So maybe you start with a lower height step and you work your way up to something a little bit higher. So what you're gonna do, I'm actually gonna go on this lower step here. So your outside leg is gonna step up. And once that foot is on there, it's gonna stay there until all 10 reps are done on this other leg. So I'm gonna hold goblet style. I'm gonna come up, touch, down slow, and touch. Here. Very controlled. I'm not flopping around, dropping back down to the floor. Just taking my time. I'm pushing my butt back, so I'm not shooting out over my knee here. I think that's 9 and 10. And then when I switch sides, all I do is bring my other foot up and then just bring this one down. Same thing. I go here, touch, lightly touch the floor, back up. My heel stays on the box. So in other words, when I get down here, I'm not lifting up on my toes. That heel pushes into the box. My entire foot is pushing into the box as I come up. You should really feel this in your glutes, a little bit of quads. I lost count, but I think that's 10. Okay. Next up is the bear crawl shoulder tap. So we're gonna hold a bear crawl in place, and we're gonna pick up one hand at a time and touch the opposite shoulder. You're not going quick, and you're not letting your hips rock around. So your goal is to stay as steady as you can, as still as you can, and really slowly move through, pulling in nice and tight through the core. You're gonna feel your abs, you're gonna feel your shoulders, and I wanna make sure you breathe. We're just gonna do 16 reps, which is just 8 per side. Nothing to it. So in the bear crawl, your hands go right under your shoulders, your knees go right under your hips. So you should have a box here. You want 90 degrees here, 90 degrees here, and that angle does not change even as we lift our knees off the floor. Toes are turned under, we lift our knees. So this is that bear crawl position. Make sure you don't sink. I want you to push away from the floor to make sure that your shoulders are nice and stable. And then from here, we're gonna pick up and tap, pick up and tap, pick up and tap, here. Make sure this isn't happening. This doesn't count. My knees hover above the floor and they do not change from their position. Tap, tap, tap. Next up, we have a dumbbell reverse fly. So you can do this two different ways. You can do it standing where you're hinged forward, or you can do it with an incline bench. So if you're gonna do the hinged forward, you'll just come here and we'll go out this way. Make sure you stay nice and tight and that your back stays flat. I'm gonna show you on the bench because I like it that way. You tend to cheat less when you have the bench because you keep your chest against there and you're not lifting up. This does not require heavy weight at all. So you want to start pretty light, and then you can also, you can always go up if it's too easy. So a slight bend in the elbows. We're going to open out to the side, hold it for just a second, and back down. So we're going to do 12 of these. Notice I'm not swinging to get the weights up. It is very controlled. Slow on the way down, slow on the way up. I'm keeping my neck lined up with my spine, so I'm just looking straight out ahead of me. I think I've got 4 more. Again, this is really good for the upper back and the back of the shoulders. Good for your posture. Okay, there's 12. So next up, we have a reverse hyperextension with some pulses at the end. So that same band we've been using, we're gonna put it above our knees. To start, I like to put my bench at a little bit of an incline. I'm actually gonna put it, no, not that high. We're gonna leave it right here. If you don't have a bench that inclines, you can just do it on a flat bench. You just get a little more range of motion this way. You could also do it on like an ottoman or something in your living room. So with the bench, I am going to place my hip crease right at the edge of the bench. I'm gonna come over it and I'm just gonna hold on to the bottom here. I'm gonna bring my legs apart a little bit so I've got tension on the band, and then bring my heels together. And I'm gonna go 12 reps where I'm lifting, holding for a second, and lowering. So we have 12 regular reps here. This is gonna hit glutes, hamstrings. You might feel a little bit in the muscles of the lower back. That's okay, as long as it's muscle that you're feeling. So nice and slow and controlled. Again, I'm not swinging. This is the 12th one. I'm going to hold it up, and then we do 12 pulses. So these are small and controlled. Again, not swinging. 5, 6, 8, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The last exercise in this circuit is a calf raise. You can do these flat on the floor. You can do them on the edge of a step in your house. If you have any kind of small step that you want to elevate yourself on, you can. I'm just going to use the edge of the squat rack. And you're going to do 20 to 30 reps. So I'm going to come up here. I want to be on the balls of my feet. I don't want my knees locked, but I also don't want them super bent where I'm bending and straightening my knees. The movement comes from your ankles. So a slight bend in the knees, drop your heels way down, and then squeeze way up on the toes. Drop the heels way down, bring them way up on the toes. So I'm going to go right here. Just making sure I don't bonk my head. 20 to 30 reps. It's going to burn. Taking my time on the way down. Make sure I'm not just dropping my heels. All right, and once you've got your 20, if you want, you can even stretch them out a little bit. And just kind of drop side to side. All right, set 2 of the single leg hip thrust, band above your knees, shoulder blades on the bench or the chair, 1 foot up, and away we go. 10, 11, and 12. Nine, 11, and 12. All right, band comes off. We're going directly into those pause push-ups. So again, elevated or on the floor. 10 of these. Remember that 3-second hold. 3, 2, 1, and up. 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. There's 8, 9, and 10. All right, we're back to our face pull. We'll rotate. We got 10, 11, and 12. All right, we're back to that goblet banded march in place. So again, under the feet, over the shoelaces. Try to get it flat. And holding that kettlebell or dumbbell in front, goblet style, 20 reps, 10 on each leg. And we're staying nice and still. There's 10. 15, 17, and 20. All right, we're back to that crossover step up. We're doing 10 per leg. So again, outside foot goes on first. It stays flat. We step. Easy on the way down. Push the hips back. There's 10, so we'll switch sides. Sometimes you get a little wobbly. 8. And 10. All right, we're back to that bear crawl shoulder tap. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. You may find that you need to take your knees and hips just a little wider apart in order for you to stay more stable. We're gonna lift those knees barely off the floor, and away we go. Going back to the reverse fly on your bench or bent over with a flat back. We have 12 of these. back to the reverse hyperextension with the pulses. So band above the knees. Hip right at the edge, hip joint. Remember, you gotta hold on underneath. Some resistance on that band, heels together. We have 12 regular reps. This is 12, and now 12 pulses. And lastly, we have our calf raises. This time I'm just gonna do them on the edge of this dumbbell rack so that you can see that you can do them anywhere you have an elevated surface. So I'm just gonna go on the edge. I'm going, again, way up on my toes, dropping way down. Again, we have 20 to 30 of these. You may have to adjust your feet a little bit. $17, $18, I'm going to 20. You can go to 30 if you want. 20. Okay, so I've gone through our entire circuit 2 times with you. That's a great place to start. And then if you have time and you feel strong, go for 3 rounds. You still feel good and you've got the time for it, go for 4. Our ultimate goal is by the end of the month to have you doing 4 sets of that whole circuit. Have fun with it.